Welcome to the podcast with your favorite host, Jerim, aka the Zim Dream Kid. Minus Pastor One delay today. You know, he's always putting me in the back seat. So today he's taking the back seat. So he's in the background, and but even though he's in the back seat, doesn't mean I'm riding solo. But before I introduce my guest, as you know, we're shooting by the bed by the Harbour here in Durban. Cool spot for you guys to come and chill out. Dope food, dope vibes. It's quiet, and you'll be seeing the coast, the ships and everything. You can even host your event, birthday event, whatever that you guys want to come and celebrate. So come in and pop up to this place. Dope space. And the air match, if you want one, you know what to do. In the description, still got an air match competition, which is more in detail after. So stay logged in. I would like to introduce, to some may know her, some may be like, it's the first time seeing her. She's a friend, she's a sister that I've known for quite a long time. She's an amazing person. She's an artist. For some of you who don't know, I've featured her in so many numerous tracks. So probably some of you are familiar with her voice if you have listened to my songs. She's a graduate.
A graduate.
Yes, so please don't play with her. She's educated.
I'm educated.
She says she's a girl of God. Don't call her.
Don't call me independent.
I will call her independent.
We don't use that anymore.
Yeah, she don't want to get you the wrong vibes, but she's a girl of God. Could spend the whole day talking about the layers of who she is. But this is Tina Noks here. In one word, how would you describe yourself?
Dynamic.
Okay, dynamic.
Yes, dynamic.
So yes. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about untreated trauma. But here is the catch. So what you're watching right now is an intro, right? What happened was, okay, let me break it down. The gist, guys. You're going to hear it. It's going to be in audio from onwards now. When we recorded, something happened. I'm not going to blame anyone.
There's nobody to blame. There's nobody to blame.
But what happened was, something happened during the recording that we lost the video part of the thing, but we had the audio because we recorded separately, then we measured obviously in the editing. So it was so of a special episode. We didn't want to re-record it because we captured so much amazing content with Tina that we were like, people have to hear it, the raw state of it was. So you're going to give you an audio for you guys to listen. If you feel like you don't want to listen to it, we're going to make due plan for you to check it out on Spotify and iTunes. Even with the other previous episodes, you're also going to check them out there. So Tina here won't be like, you guys did me wrong. No, you still get to listen to her on the what? On the audio. So yeah, so do check it out. And we're talking about untreated trauma. Yes. So she chose that we should talk about that. Why did you feel like you wanted us to, talk about untreated trauma? What is trauma basically?
The reason why I chose the topic for me is I feel as though through observation throughout the years, I've seen that a lot of people are walking, bleeding human beings, and sometimes we blame people for their actions, not understanding there is a root to their actions. Like for instance, I have encountered bullying in church. Yes, there's bullying.
Bullying in church.
I'm telling you,
I thought you were saying bullying in school, and I had bullying in church.
Because you expect church to be the most safest place. Yes. You don't expect someone to bully you or highlight the fact that, you know what, you don't have money.
Interesting.
Yes, you don't have money. So throughout the years, I've encountered bullying, and I would ask myself, Kanti, why are these people like this? Only to find out more as time goes by that, okay, it's not actually the person, it's the fact that they are bleeding and they're trying to project it to other people.
Or other people.
So I've also done my homework in terms of introspecting myself. We had a conversation with my brother the other day. He was just saying how I have grown. He remembers me being triggered by small things. I would get
I would
get angry for
Small nyana things like
more things.
Tina, why are you wearing that? Like, bro, just asking.
But now I actually, like, I can understand, like, okay, that was embarrassing. It wasn't me. It was something behind me that was triggering me. So I can say that I'm healed. I'm not totally healed.
But you're work in progress.
Yes. I can stand on the other side and say, okay, I'm healed. I don't have to be triggered by something. I don't have to be angry, or I don't have to be always defensive.
All right. So basically you're saying that real recognize real. What do I say? Like, it takes someone to have done the work to realize, oh, I know what this is.
Yes.
So you can be able to recognize. So what are like some of the things, like, you know that, okay, this brother or this sister here, she's bleeding. How, like, what are the symptoms basically that you can say, yeah, something is up here?
Well, I can refer to my own symptoms. Like, for instance, the most famous one is the daddy issues. Yeah, a lot of ladies don't have fathers. Hence, figures. You try to find security in men. You try to find security in ambitions. Okay. You know, I've understood that sometimes ambitions are not because you are ambitious, but because you're trying to prove something to yourself. Only to find out that your ambitiousness is actually toxic. Yeah. And one of the things that I would do, I would make sure if someone is going to do something, I will do it better 10 times. Oh, not because, and people will compliment me and say, oh, Tina's a hard worker, But when I sit down with myself, I'm like, I'm trying to seek validation from people. And what I'm doing is not actually who I am. And it's so much work to try to prove yourself to people. I can give accounts to that. It's so much of work. You have to be perfect with inverted commas. You have to be a certain way because you want to be liked by people, to an extent where I just got tired of it. I was like, you know what? I'm tired. Let it be. Yeah, let it be. That's where I started working.
Validation is one of them. What else?
Validation, insecurity. Insecurity projects itself in different ways. For instance, if you know, let's say, for example, someone approaches me and says, Tina, I like you, but you can see this person is a red flag. Like, you are a walking, talking, breathing, existing red flag. But because of my insecurities, I will discount my value, not understanding it in a organic, healed manner. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So when a certain personality comes to me, I will just say yes for the sake of it and not looking at the red flags. You can see them, but you choose to.
Yeah, like one joke was said, didn't you see the red flag? I thought it was a carnival.
Yeah, so basically, that's it. And I've also learned that when you become healed, your taste becomes different.
Wow, that's
like
dope.
Your taste is different. Like, for instance, my friends are different. If I see that you don't add value, I catch, like, with immediate effect, I cut you off.
Cut you off.
If you come to me and tell me, Tina, I'm interested in you, I scrutinize you via the perception of being healed. Do you get what I'm saying?
Not the other lens you used to use.
No. And also, I used to be very judgmental. So God healed me from that. I was a very judgmental being, and I asked myself, okay, why am I judgmental? And then I saw, okay, daddy issues, because my dad didn't do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Hence, that is why I look at males in this way, or certain people in that way. So I had to shred off that toxic perception.
I don't think fathers or parents in nature don't realize how much they build a foundation that can lead to someone's trauma in their future. Because some of the things that happen in your childhood are like so teensy-weensy things, but they build like this concrete foundation that later on you have. I think I told you the story that I used to defend myself so much. Like any small thing, even when I don't have to defend myself, I just had to defend myself. So it was during the lockdown, I was like, but why am my mechanisms like this? Then I had to trace back. Then the Holy Spirit was showing me that there was a time I used to stay with my dad, that he was always on my case, right? That he would always be blaming me for so I naturally built a defense.
Defense.
So anytime anything happens, I must be a lawyer. I have to defend myself.
Defend yourself.
So naturally it became implanted in me that now, even when I'm out there, I'm just defending myself for no reason, even if I don't have to. So I had to like work on it and let go. So I do like to highlight that, you know, parents, as you know, we're talking like to young people that are becoming parents, that are about to become parents, or you are a parent already. You have to watch how you deal with your children, because you can literally plant seeds of trauma in your children by, you know, a lot of things that will happen. Because, you know, trauma can be like someone was planted in their from 7 to 11, but they're dealing it from that age until 30 something. So parents, please.
But you know, the interesting parts the Holy Spirit revealed to me specifically about my parents and in parents in general, that we shouldn't be so hard on them. Why? Because in their minds, they thought they were doing
their best,
their best when it wasn't their best.
Hence,
it is my responsibility now to cut off the pattern that they had initiated in my life at a very young age. I remember encounters with my family, them planting very bad negative seeds to an extent where I would enter into a depression hole. Even my mom couldn't get me out, or my dad could not get me out because it was so rooted, Joram, to an extent where I realized, man, we need to have grace for our parents. Like,
but it takes, like what you say, it takes a healed lens to actually see that, snap. Like I had that encounter where I was like, was like, why am I? Then I realized, snap, it's not his fault. This has happened before. So I have to, like what you're saying, I have to cut it out, or otherwise this thing is going to continue.
So that's what I've learned. You know, I used to be very like angry in regards to my dad. And then I started sitting down with myself. I'm like, okay, I'm dealing with an adult and with a child at the same time. And there are aspects of him that are not healed. And whether I like it or not, because I want to cut off that toxic pattern, I have to hold his hand.
Because
with the wounds that I was given by my parents, I need to heal so I can hold his hand and show him that life is actually not this way. It is this way.
This other way.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
We need to have grace. We need to have grace for our parents, especially like our mothers. Like my mom is like, I don't know if you'll know my mom. She's like a lieutenant. She's a soldier. So sometimes I'm like, you a lady, calm down. Calm down. There's no soldier coming to shoot you. I'm here. Calm down. So I treat her as my mom and as the small child that needs to heal.
Do
you get it?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. That also broad. Like basically just goes a little back forward to what I was saying, that as a child, because when you're saying that as a child, that trauma is a time frame when you were a child, something happened, so you got stuck in that moment, and then you grew up physically, but mentally that child is still there. So until you go back and address the child, you can even see sometimes in someone that this person is like 20 something or
inside,
sometimes there's an behavior that pops up that you realize, I'm speaking to that child. I'm not speaking to him or
and
her.
You have to have grace.
So
you have to have grace.
You have to have, that's why I'm saying real recognize real. If you are healed enough, you can, okay, snap, I see this, I know what this is. But if you're not, you're just going to be scuffling each other and scarring each other more and more. True. So, but for you to say that, okay, how did you get to the point you realize, okay, there's something wrong, I need to fix it? What triggered it? Like, you're like, because not everybody gets to that place.
Okay. What had triggered it for me was the time, I know this is a taboo, that we shouldn't be talking about in church. I can only say now I'm maturing in my walk in Christianity. There was a time where I think Pastor Wandile was there, where I was experiencing intensive attacks that I didn't understand. Okay, what is going on with me? My academics were attacked. My mindset was attacked. My family was, everything was upside down to an extent where I had, I'm going to share this testimony. No one knows about it. To an extent where I remember, my mom had pills. So I decided, you know what? I'm tired. I am exhausted. Nothing is working for me in school. Nothing is like my mom is struggling to even make 500 rand for us to eat and rent. And believe it or not, we used to live in a garage. We used to share a public toilet, and you have to come out of that place and act like nothing is happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So I had to create this facade of everything was okay. Yes, to a point where I just decided to take pills and wanted to kill myself. And I wouldn't say weird. I was crying. I had pills in my hand, had water. I slept.
That was the Holy Spirit. Just blood breathe.
I don't know what happened. And when I woke up, I would call it an epiphany for my personal side, that, you know what, you're not the only one that is going through this whole situation. And the fact is, no one is there to rescue you. Yeah. And the only person you have is God. Are you going to give in to the situation, or are you going to come out of the situation? And in that moment, I decided, you know what? I need to pick myself up. This is not me. I took back put the pills back, and then just started working on myself. In terms of my mindset, in terms of how I do things. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. Yet, I mean, look at the fact that toxicness has been in the family lineage for 100 years. Yeah. Who am I to just break it in instantly? So it took a lot of work. It took a lot of God actualization. People say self-actualization. The reason why I say God actualization, I had to look at the word and say, okay, Tina, you got a temper. Oh, Tina, you jump to conclusions. Oh, Tina, everything for you is you cry. So I had to reprogram how I think, reprogram how I do things, just reprogram everything about myself. And it took years. And I'm very grateful that I'm here today to testify that I am healed. I'm not wholly healed, but I'm healed. I can testify that I'm healed.
We thank God for that. Otherwise, Tina won't be here. Well, she's here to testify. So if you're going through the same thing, please do not take your life. There is actually, I think the thing with like, for example, with suicide that leads, usually it's like traumas. It's cause not that someone wants to kill themselves. I think you
don't want to kill
but it's
yourself.
Just in that moment, you're trying to escape whatever those like overwhelming feelings that you have. So you're thinking that, okay, this is the only thing that can just escape me from what I'm feeling. But no one just be like, nah, I want to kill myself.
No,
it's not. It's just that someone is stuck in a moment. They're like, okay, this thing is overwhelming me. I feel this. I just want to cut it off. And they think, or she thinks that this is the best way. But it's not actually the thing that you have just, I don't know. Sometimes God comes in, but please don't do it.
Don't kill
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's the devil.
It's gonna be a better day, someday, or it's just around the corner. But don't allow. There's a scripture our father used to always like to quote. There's hope for a living dog than a dead lion. Because a dead lion is a dead lion, can't do anything. But a dog, if he survives, he lives to live another day, and then each dog has his day. So don't do that to yourself.
And what also helped me is I was mentored by our youth leader, Pastor Brian. So that really helped me a lot. It was a bit different, to be mentored by a man. You must wipe your tears. Like, be strong, stop. Like a wimp. Come out of that situation. So it also has helped me. People ask me, Tina, how are you so daring with situations? How are you so stern and assertive? I'm like, Pastor Brian, really Pastor Brian assisted me and helped me to be where I'm at right now. So thank you very much, Pastor Brian.
So it was self-awareness, then spiritual guidance.
Yes, spiritual guidance.
Obviously, you talked about using the word of God, that you had to reflect with the word of God.
Yes.
Is there anything else, like any other mechanism that, like some people have, for example, I think for us, God, artists, sometimes some of us gets given us cheat codes, because I had moments where I have situations like yours.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I had to realize later on in life was like the gift God has given me to write songs or to make songs. I used to usually think it's for people. Yes, I make music for people, but actually it's supposed to be my escape to help me, channel my thoughts, so that instead of what is overwhelming me and stressing me on whatever, all the traumas that I've got, instead of letting be on me, I can let it out on a paper as a poem, as a song, or as an idea, or whatever. So that was like, God gave me that outlet as an artist to express my feelings and actually create amazing art that now people can relate to and actually heal from. But not everyone has a certain outlet. Correct. But what's been your personal outlet?
I just like being quiet in my own place. I know people think I'm this people's person, but when I'm done with people, I just want to sit down with myself, recoup, regain my energy, introspect myself. That's my therapy. Sometimes my brother Frank will get offended because
you're quiet.
At home, yes. At home he's very talkative. So when I want to keep quiet, don't talk to me. So he finds that offensive. He's like, but you spoke to Joram and Pastor Andile in church and you are singing and you're doing what you don't want to talk to me. And then you come back home. He doesn't understand that is a way of me recouping.
I can relate with Norma. It's the same thing.
I can't. So if I talk and do everything in church, blah, 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 and whatever, socialize, blah, blah, whatever, I want to come back home, sit down, close the curtains, keep quiet. I don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah, it's a weird space. I know. I can relate. Even
I can't.
Who was this? There's a certain artist I was listening to. Who is it? It's a lady again. I think it's Thames. She was saying the exact same thing, that people see me outside, but when I'm home, I'm just, please, just don't bother me. Just leave me alone. Type of
My mom even knows, this is Tina's time. Do not, cause I want to recoup. I can't.
All right.
There's so much that you can do as a human being. And knowing that I do so many things, I need to gain back the energy that I've given to people.
All right.
So that's for me.
All right. So now concerning, because you specifically mentioned something that's close to home, church, Christians.
Yes.
In terms of trauma, do you think as believers or as Christians, are we promoting people to deal with their untreated traumas enough? Because if you are saying that you were bullied in church, that means I feel like if from that perception, we're not promoting people to.
Yeah. I don't think it's a matter of promoting. It's the willingness to change as an individual.
All right.
And as I said, having an epiphany or sitting down with yourself and telling yourself the truth. I believe that it takes a very strong person and humble person to really realize that, you know what? I have a problem. I have issues that I need to deal with. I've encountered people I was just doing this healing session for myself. I just told myself that I will speak to the people that hurt me to release myself, because I don't want to be continuing in a cycle that will later on become something big. So when I spoke to one of the people and I told them, remember you did A, B, and C, they were in denial. What are you talking about, Tina?
It never happened.
It never happened. What do you mean? There's something wrong with you. Then it made me realize, man, healing is not for you to gain sorry from the other person, but it's for you to heal. Because some people, you will never get the sorry that you wanted.
So
you will never, no matter how much.
It's basically a forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for.
It's not for the other person.
It's for you. Because they say unforgiveness is like eating poison and expecting the other person to die. You have to let them go. You're the one dying slowly because you're literally saying, no, I will but bruh, you have to forgive them and let it go. Obviously, the relationship might not be as sharp as as previous, but letting them go actually helps you.
Yes, and becoming the bigger person. I think also that is the most difficult thing, is becoming the big person. You may look stupid, you may look like the loser, but at the end of the day, I believe that you are gaining. And as I said, when you are in the side of healing, you start to have grace for the same people that hurt you.
Yes.
So when I look at the people that hurt me years ago, I can say, no, man, it's not them. They're actually bleeding. So I believe that us as a church, I understand that, we have dynamics. There's friction here and there. Personalities are different. Cultures are different. We don't have the same way of thinking. Yes. But I believe that we should have grace for one another. Let's not assume, or let's not jump to conclusions, and let's not take the initial response that we get from someone, because that response can be coming from a place of hurt and not a place not a place of genuineness. So I believe right now that if you try and insult me, I'll feel sorry for you, man. I'm like, okay, maybe this person has
got issues.
Maybe they got issues. They would never do such a thing like this. So I'll sit you down. What is wrong? And the person will start opening up. Tina, I'm sorry. I didn't mean this is actually. So I look at things in a different way. Yeah. In a healed way.
No, because you have the advantage now. Like heal people, heal people.
Yes.
Hurt people, hurt people.
Yes.
That is a cycle basically.
Yes.
Because if you're healed, you know how to treat it in like a wound. But if you just want to scar more because you are not also healed.
Yes.
So I think like what you're saying, giving each other grace. Yes. Obviously, it starts from like fundamentally, because you've been forgiven by God of so much. So why would you do the same to you? Just forgive other people because you've been forgiven. Because if God had to not forgive, it'll be, I don't think anyone will enter. Bro. So now you do the same.
True.
That's why even scripture says that you have to go and forgive your brother or your sister first before you even go and start uttering prayers on an altar, because it doesn't make sense that you are holding that grudge. You're actually killing yourself slowly. So I think as believers, the same measure of grace we've been given is the same measure of grace you should give someone else. We should not be like, he hurt me. And I think
forgive him.
Vusi was saying something, something very profound. I was watching him in the morning. He was saying, if you're going to be a leader, you have not become a leader until you start to lead the people that hurt you. And that's I was like,
wow.
And it only happens if you are forgiven them.
Wow.
Because there's no way that's going to happen. You won't be able to lead them. Imagine you are given a leadership position and you know this person,
he hurt me.
So that could be a moment of revenge for you. Like Joseph, remember his brothers. I mean, like if he had the trauma was not dealt because the guy had been accused of something he never did. He was rejected by his own family, thrown in, a lot of things happened. And when he had that moment, he could have said, oh, you guys are going to rot in prison.
I'm the prime minister.
I'm gonna finish you. Forget about your brothers. But he actually had the courage and to let go and let God and just say, you know what, that was in the past. Let's move on. Because he was in a position to actually, help the family. But he could have said, forget about it. Pay back time. So this actually continues the cycle to get onwards and onwards and onwards. So please, if you're in the house of God, forgive.
Let's forgive, man. Let's forgive.
Forget.
You are praying for blessings, and forgiveness is the remedy of your hindrance of your blessings. You want to get married. God is like, you remind that man every day. Remember in 2024, that day you insulted my mother. I will never forget. So please forgive.
So what advice would you give on like, for example, when someone is dealing with trauma, they're saying, Tina, I hear what you're saying. I think I have trauma issues and I need to work on it.
Okay. A disclaimer, I'm not a professional.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're speaking from your...
Don't put me on the spot.
Well, after this, they're going to be like, we need Tina back. We have got questions.
Don't put me on the spot. So what I can say helped me was, as I said, self-actualization, understanding that, or acknowledging that you are sick.
So first,
if you don't acknowledge that you are sick, then no one can help you. You will not be diagnosed properly.
yes.
Because you are not admitting that I'm sick. I have a flu. That's the first thing. The second thing for me was looking at myself through the lens of God. I know this may sound cliche.
Nah, it doesn't.
Well, for some people, like, they always talk about God. That literally...
No, I think you know why people say that. Because the way they view God is the reason why they think it's cliche.
Yeah.
Because like what you're saying, for example, like you had father issues. You know that how you see, this is for the fathers. How a father treats his children matters, because before they see God the Father, they see God, you know, as me as a father. So how I treat them, I literally had the same problem to Edvi, because I would see God in a different way, and it had to click back, say, whoa, because I had related with the father the wrong way from the get-go.
Because of your experience.
Because of my experience. So I'm like, how can he be a father? Because, you know, it messes with their thing. So that's why people feel like, okay, it's cliche. But once you understand how God is a father to you now at personal level, like he is if the Bible says he is mindful of us, like what is man that God is mindful of us? That means he thinks about us. He's mindful of how we feel, how everything concerns us. So, but if you see God as someone that is just giving you blessings, it alters. You see cliche.
But what I love about God is he understands where you are coming from.
Yeah.
He understands why you look at him in that perception.
In that manner.
And I think, that's the beauty of the journey between you and the Father. He works with you slowly to an extent where even your perception of him starts to change. It becomes brighter. It becomes glorious because you start to become healed. And if you hinder that process, then you will not see the organic nature of God as him being the father to the fatherless. I remember I would cry myself to sleep and ask myself, but God, what? Like,
how far?
Me? Fathers, what were you thinking? Like, why did I get the last of the last?
You know, you remind me of the movie The Shack.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the movie The Shack, but the guy had, his daughter was kidnapped and they believe maybe she was abused and then they couldn't find the body basically. So when God had an encounter with the dude in the movie, God had presented himself as a woman. And the reason why people are judgmental, but when you watch the movie, you get to understand why. Because God explains himself in that movie, says, I had to come as a woman first for you to relate with me now, but I will reveal myself as a father. But I had to come in this form. It just goes to say what you're saying. God knows where you are. So he knows how to address you from that A to Z situation. I'm just ready to do like a sidebar on that.
Going back. So the first one was what? Self-actualization, God, English is not my first language. God actualization. And I know this is controversial, especially for the Christian and church community. I believe personally, therapy also assisted me. Cause I believe there are things, the God will assist me and is assisting me and I have healed. But I believe there are things that have to be worked on within my mind. That will need a professional to identify and say, Tina, it's not that deep, calm down. Like, it's not that deep. I remember one of the context sessions was cause I am 100% overthinker. If you're gonna give me something, I will overthink it 20,000 times. So there was a situation that was happening at work, and the most interesting question she asked me, what worst could ever happen? Are you going to get fired because of that situation? And I said, no. Are you going to die because of the situation? And I said, no. The worst that could ever happen is for you to get a performance management because of this current situation that you are in. So I believe therapy assists. I don't know about other people. Some people don't believe in therapy, but a Christian therapist, actually, because some therapists, hey, why are we putting eyes and hypnosis? Where are stones
what
coming
are we use
from?
crystal balls?
Where's crystals from the Bible?
Yeah,
so,
I get what you say.
Yes, so for me that was, and giving yourself grace. I've realized that for me, I can give people grace. But when it comes to me, I'm so hard on myself. And that is one of the things that God has taught me. Give yourself grace. Give yourself, I know you want to heal, but it will take one step at a time.
I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah,
Let me be honest with you.
It is the hardest
You can forgive someone else, but forgiving yourself, especially you've hurt people or done something that, I really hurt this person. And then it hits you back.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, snap. Yay. Forgiving yourself is one of the hardest. Because like when you say, it takes a lot of work. Because you can give grace to other people. No, it's fine. It's cool. I let it go, blah, blah, blah. But you forgiving yourself, that's why they say, like, in prison, they don't, those hardcore criminals, the hardest thing that can break them is when they put them in solitude. Because now he has to face himself and be like, snap. That thing breaks you.
And some people are scared of themselves.
Yeah, so that's why they always want to be around gang.
Yeah.
So because once you and yourself, that's why in 2020 people were going cuckoo.
Yeah. because
you are with yourself, now you're dealing with yourself. You're like,
true.
I am like
and
this.
Some people entered in deep depression.
Yeah, because you're dealing with yourself.
Yeah.
So dealing with yourself is not an easy situation.
Yeah, true.
So forgiving yourself, it takes really a lot of grace. It
takes a lot of work.
Yeah,
a lot of
does.
work, a lot of grace.
Yeah, it does.
And knowing me. Yes, sir.
I think I'm interested in the fact that you say when you get home, you just want to sit.
Yes.
And you think, what exactly are you thinking about at that moment? What are you saying to yourself? Or what are you doing?
Okay, so what I would say, sir, for me, let's just say on a Sunday, I would ask myself, what did I do wrong today?
When you get home.
Yes, what did I do wrong? Not like trying to beat myself up, but how can I become better from the day that I experienced, with my friends, with my mom, with my brother, with the people I associate with. I could have been rude without knowing I was rude. So I'm like, okay, Tina, you need to do better here. Okay. In this situation, don't respond in this way, respond in that way. Or you panic too much, calm down. So the next day, I'm able to give you a better version of myself. Yeah, a healthier version. And I always say this, I thank God, I really thank God that I'm not that old, but I'm old. I'm not
young old,
yes, young old.
Yeah.
I thank God. I was
people
sitting.
People are gonna be researching. Tina Noks, how old is she?
I was sitting down with myself and I was like, you know what? I thank God no one approached me during 20. Okay, I'm gonna give you my age now, but my morning season, because if that person had arrived, they were gonna find a toxic person.
Yeah.
But now I'm confident to say that, okay, I don't look at a situation in this way. So,
you're saying that if the person met you in that season.
Yes, I think I was gonna ruin what God intended to happen. So I thank God that certain opportunities did not come to me
back,
because they were going to find me toxic. They were going to find me impulsive. They were going to find me bleeding. They were going to find me
in a wrong state of mind.
In a wrong state of mind. So I can say that I'm confident that even certain situations or certain people can come, opportunities.
Yes.
I can handle them
Yes,
better.
yes.
In a very healthy way.
Very
so
man.
yes,
that's actually a sidebar. That's
like,
dope, because some people think that God is
he's punishing them,
but it's actually protecting you, because if you get that thing, it's gonna destroy. For example, like money, that money is gonna kill you instead of actually becoming a tool that is supposed to help your family and yourself and your surroundings. But once you get it, boom. Because you don't have the tools, or if, for example, if you go up, like, for example, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes, like I say in geography. That means the higher you go, you get exposed to a lot. So if, for example, if you haven't dealt with your trauma, and you know how people that are up there, how they are criticized, that can crush you, because you can't deal with the criticism. That's when you self yourself like, I'm worthless, I'm like because you haven't built the mechanism to deal with. You're not emotionally intelligent enough. You haven't been through the process. So now you get there, you crash. Not because you're a bad person or you're doing something, but you haven't dealt with yourself enough.
True.
To stand to that level.
True. Like an example, I can give you an example. Daddy always makes fun. He makes fun of it. Like I would say at work, I'm very privileged and grateful to be exposed to a lot of opportunities. For instance, traveling. If I was the insecure Tina I was 5 years ago, the people that come to me that have money, specifically, I'm being honest. People that have like, big people, Chorim, like I'll be going to the airport, you can see this person, he has money.
Let me eat this money. Oh my
but you're
God.
like, no man, I'm grown up. I'm beyond what I see. Yeah, but I've been approached by prominent rich people, but I'm able to confidently say no.
Yeah, that's
you will offer me.
That takes the grace of God.
It literally takes the grace of God. Your person will tell me, "Oh, Tina, okay, next week you're in Cape Town. Okay, my vehicles are here. I have an apartment here. We can go here. We can." And I'm confident to say, "No, I don't want your money. Okay. I don't want the apartment. I don't want your cars. No, thank you. Because God has healed me."
This reminds me of a clip I saw. You see it when Jamulo posted it this morning. I think it was you with Angel saying that men plan their future with their future wives, but play with prostitutes.
Okay.
So basically what he was, I know it's like,
okay.
But basically what he's saying that if you see a guy playing with you, he's not serious about you. If he's serious about you, he's going to plan for you and plan with you. And then it goes back to saying that, if you see someone as a dude, the only thing that they are flashing is their materials. That's how much value they see in you. They just see you as a material also.
Materialistic.
Cause they'll just be like, that's how they, cause they know what they're doing. They know that, okay, if I just put this,
she'll just say
if you buy it, then you're gone. Done. So you're worth that. Yeah. That's why they cannot settle down with you.
Exactly.
All right.
So healing delivers you from a lot of things. If you're not healed, you are opened to portals that can kill you, destroy, or steal something from you.
All right.
As the threefold ministry of the devil says, steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah. They're out there.
Yeah.
Watch out. I hope you enjoyed this dope discussion that you've just listened to. Full of so many nuggets, full of so many golden moments that you cannot replicate if we had recorded it. So I hope you listen to it times 2, because there's so much in there to unpack. And if you feel like you want to do us a part 2, just tell us in the comment section, or if you have more questions, she might come back and we do, part 2, continue the discussion, because I feel like there's so many layers to it. And mind you, if you want to get the match, do us justice by just, get in contact with the, contact in the description. If you want to win, let's say you want to win, you have to do the 3. You have to be a subscriber, you have to comment, and you have to share and tag us that podcast or Ted Base or take Pastor Wandile or take me. If you do the 3, then you are now a candidate or a nominee to win one of the merch that we'll be giving out each and every month, right? As usual, we shoot here by the bed, by the Harbour in Durban. It's a cool spot for, dope food, dope space to come and chill and have friends or family, just minus Mjolo, to do what you want to do. Because we will see you here while we are shouting. You'll be like, oh, my brother, how fun, huh? But anyways, Tina, any last words?
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope the podcast transforms someone's life and you become healed.
Yes,
because that's the intent.
That's the most important thing
of this podcast. So thank you very much for inviting me.
No, we want to say actually thank you for the gift of your vulnerability, for sharing your story, for sharing your experiences. It's not easy just to be on camera, though the camera did shake, but still the sound did. So thank you for the gift of your vulnerability. I hope someone gets healed or learns something from it. Yeah, and I don't know, there's anything else. Pastor, is there anything I this way? Yeah, so we love you and we gotta leave you. And we are one more thing. When is Tina gonna release music? When are we gonna get your music? Yeah.
Soon.
Please.
Soon.
Say, if you want Tina to drop music, hit in the comment section. Say, Tina drop. We out. We love you.
Trust in your plans. Trust in your process. Trust in your plans. Trust.